5th, 6th, 7th grade during this time, so I was a student. I was living in Cumberland, Iowa, which is a small town about the size of Brighton.
I lived about 10, 12 miles northeast of Fairfield, and we were 2 miles from Pleasant Plain, and that's where we went to school. So I was helping farm, and we were just busy all the time, but we didn't mind it. I mean, somebody had to do the work, so we did it.
I just remember as a young child that we had rationing of, we had a stamp book, and every time you bought sugar, nylons, which women wore a lot of nylons then, and gas, those are the three things I remember. We had to take that little stamp out of the book and give it, and you could only have so many for like sugar, so many for gas, so many for the nylons. Those are the three things I remember. There's probably a lot more. Do you remember any more?
Well, on gas, we had a family car, but we just got a certain amount of gas. And so about all we ever used the family car for was like if you had to go to the doctor, or you wanted to go to church, or you wanted to get groceries. And whenever we went to town, we tried to get everything done in one trip.
America supported the soldiers. We had signs all over of Uncle Sam, we need you now. I remember those words underneath of it. And then I remember the Red Cross was very active, and everybody was giving like pennies, nickels, dimes to the war bonds. Everybody was buying war bonds. We had victory gardens, and a lot of people planted gardens. They would have anyway, but they encouraged us to plant victory gardens and raise our own food because a lot of the food was being sent to the soldiers. Okay, there were about 6 of us at the time, and my father joined the Navy, and it was kind of hard for my mother being home raising the kids, and I remember that he was in the Navy away from home most of this time. He was on an LST. He received a commendation award because during the battle the engine stopped, and he was a very good mechanic. They had him like repairing things mechanically, and he was able to get the LST going again. I had an aunt that joined the WWII, that was the Women's Army Corps, and I heard that she joined it because she wanted to go see where her husband, which would have been my uncle, was killed, and I think it was in Africa, if I remember.
Oh, my brother was, he went into the Air Force, and he took pilot's training. So after pilot's training, well, they needed navigators real bad, and he had college education, so they talked him into becoming a navigator instead of going ahead as the Air Force pilot. And he said he was going to go over there and get involved in the bombing Berlin and stuff, so he did. And their plane was hit. They were in the top. The planes that go over the bomb, they have about 3 layers of them. He was in the top layer, and the German A's come around and faced the plane and shot. And usually, if they knock out the pilot and the co-pilot, the plane is disabled, and it crashed. Well, they killed the pilot, and the co-pilot was unconscious. But my brother knew how to fly the plane, so he got the plane leveled off, and so everybody got off the plane except 4 of them, and the co-pilot was injured. But my brother, he told us afterwards that my brother threw him out of the plane and pulled the tripcord for his parachute, and he survived. But my brother's trying to land the plane then, and right before they got down to the ground, this German ace saw that the plane wasn't disabled and come down and got it again, and it exploded then.
I don't remember a lot. You know, as a young kid, I had my own little world, I guess, and I probably thought war was bad and everything. But after Pearl Harbor, that kind of changed my opinion of what was going on, because as a young child, we remember hearing how bad the Japs were, and this was sneaky. We had an ambassador from Japan visiting with our president while they were bombing Pearl Harbor. And that's all I know. And since then, you know, you see all these movies about the Pearl Harbor, and I thought that was really bad that they would come and attack us. That's my opinion.
Well, I had had some cousins that was over in Pearl Harbor when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. They come back and told us what a slaughter it was. And the one cousin said he was on one of the ships that got sunk there at Pearl Harbor. So when he came back, he said he was going to switch and go into submarines. He said that way, he said, if I get hit, I won't know it.
I thought it was a horrible thing for another country to drop or come attack Pearl Harbor, but the dropping the bomb on Japan at the time, I know from what I read about and heard about it, that was a horrible, tragic thing, but like many people said, you know, they deserved it, which sounds terrible, but
Yeah.
I felt bad about it, us dropping that bomb on innocent people, but so I'll never know, you know, what was the right thing to do, but it ended the war, so.
We thought, well, like she said, we didn't really want to do that, but that was the only way that we could see the end of the war, get it over with. So that's what we did.
Remember, but I think probably elated, everybody was excited, and kind of a, I could say for most people, probably relaxed feeling, you know. So. Just,
Well, on VE Day, some people never went to bed that night of the day. You know, when the victory in there, they never went to bed. It was celebrated all night long, and for the next day too, I think. It was really a celebration. It lasted some hours, for a couple days, I think.